How you doing? It's finally starting to warm up a bit, thank goodness. I know it's been a minute, but been going back and forth shopping with my daughter, getting ready to do her nursery up there. My son-in-law to be, he's here, and they're going to be getting married soon. So it's been kind of busy. The whole family's chipping in and doing what we can do. Had one of those crazy days today, where you get up and you think you got to go to work, and then you realize, oh no, you don't. We have something here in Canada called Family Day. And everybody gets the day off just to spend time with your family. And I forgot it was Family Day. But I do have to make up for it. I got to go in tomorrow. So anyway, I was home pissing around on the internet, just checking things out. And putting out a few videos. Those, if you've been looking on my page, the pit bulls, that's my friend's pit bull at their smoke shack. They've got 2 of them, guard dogs. And then there's the 3 shepherds there are Makwa, Bear, and Sasha. I actually got bit by one on the butt. One day she nipped me. She had a litter of puppies. She was really overprotective, and I got out of my car and she gave me a little nip on the butt. Anyway, so as I was looking around on the internet and doing different videos, I was going back and forth, and I checked out all the old trolls channels. Because I'm going to be talking about petty furball or petite fireball. And I've got to in good conscience. So anyway, Robin has been going at it all day, just desperately trying to get me to pay attention to her. Well, you got my attention, Rob, and I know that's just going to make your day. And she's put out a video that's absolutely bullshit. There's no such thing as the rubber room. That's all AI, much like the one she did, a Hootenanny Mike. That one. All bullshit. But anyway, Robin, I'll talk about you a bit later. I want to talk about petty furball. Now, here is a woman who, in the last 6 years, has went from being homeless at one time, and then she tried to be a dumpster diver. She did all this on YouTube. And then she tried to do a collaboration with Chris and Holly, and that didn't work out. And then she spent 5 years to this day trolling them. And trolling that little boy, Elion. So petty furball has been directly and indirectly creating hate channels to troll a child. And then all of a sudden she's a Jewess. And then she married the richest virgin on the island. And the reason I know all this is because she does it all in front of people. The YouTube's her stage. She's claimed to be an actress. She's claimed to be a novelist. It's just on and on. Like, this woman is completely unsettled. She openly admitted that she didn't raise her children. She's got 2 children from a previous marriage. And that's not a big deal. I mean, that's, as long as someone's raising them. But she's admitted to this type of stuff. And that's the only reason I know it. So basically, you're talking about a woman who just keeps continually reinventing herself. And most recently, at approximately 50 years of age, this woman who didn't raise her own children, who has not been stable, and that's not to mention how many times since she has been on Smith Island has she moved? Three times. Unsettled, unstable, sketchy. And we've all seen the sneaky loudmouth video. We know that she was YouTube witch hunter. It's just craziness. But her latest thing is to they couldn't adopt kids. They've decided now, her and Captain Terry, to get foster children. Now, foster children are already traumatized. And she has conned her way into convincing the system into giving her 3 boys. Taken to an island where there's no police, there's no authorities. This has Ruby Franks written all over it. You remember the last year or the year before, she's now in prison. The mother who had like 1 million followers because everybody thought she was wonderful and butter couldn't melt in her mouth and she was so innocent. And before I forget, let's not forget, in her latest 60 Minutes bullshit, she claimed to be terminally ill. Now, this is just my opinion, but that does not seem like a very good candidate to be foster parent. That seems to me to be a bad situation waiting to happen. So if Petty Furball, and the other thing too, she's on the spectrum. She's got autism. I mean, this is all the stuff that she said. And the state of Maryland is going to hand her 3 traumatized little boys. Honest to God, that's crazy. Absolute craziness. It's creepy. And this is what I mean. There are people on that channel that are going, oh, Petite and Captain Lardass, I'm so happy for you. Because they don't critically think. They don't think that, maybe you shouldn't be giving traumatized children to a woman who didn't truly raise her own children. And a husband who's never had any children that are approximately 50 years old. Hey Kim, how you doing? I don't know. It's creepy as hell. Because anybody who's been on YouTube knows exactly what this woman is. She's a YouTube troll, like all of them. Obsessed with attention. I'm doing good. Things just getting over. Yeah, I seen that you had a head cold, Kim. And the whole thing is just creepy. we've seen all the drama with where she made up that Michelle Vuitton to be a big lawyer out of New York, and all the lying and all the bullshit. And this, I don't know. And then she hasn't even got the kids yet. And she's already announcing she's getting ready to start her journey. So all the blustering and bullshit that her and her hate channels did about exploiting Elion. Hello? Wake the fuck up. Well, thanks, Kim. So here's a woman who spent years creating a drama channel on YouTube, exploiting a little boy, exploiting his mother, put them through hell and back, her and her crew. And those hate channels still exist, and those people still exist. And she's getting ready to do it herself. So, seriously, wake the fuck up. Stop supporting these people on YouTube. Oh, hi, Chase. How's trolling going? Chasing the Truth 97. Well, you're a troll, so what do you want me to say? You're not anything special on YouTube. Okay. All right. So, here comes the trolls. I love them. Keep it up, because you're just pushing my algorithms. But anyway, so that's what I wanted to talk about. I'm not going to get rid of the trolls because I like them, even though I can block them. So you trolls, just go ahead. I'll deal with you guys later. So anyway, so that's what's going on. And, I'm saying something about it because why not? Why not? Because if I don't, and those kids, because she's not going to end up raising those kids. She's going to use those kids to continue her show. That's all she's looking for, is new followers, new subscribers. That's what she's looking for. And it won't surprise me if y'all will follow her, because you don't think, hey, isn't something not right with this? Like, I mean, how long is it going to be before she starts putting pictures of those kids on YouTube? It won't be long. Guarantee it. So anyway, that's what I come on to say. And the other thing I came on to say is looks like Trump's not doing too good over there in the States. He's really getting shit on. Now, let's talk about Audrey. Chasing the truth. What does anybody else's family have to do with you? What does this... Why are you even here? You sticking up for little petty furball and Captain Lardy ass? Let me guess, you're American. You're the same type of person that if something bad happens, you'll be like saying, oh yeah, I knew that was going to happen. So the other thing I want to talk about is the other thing I want to talk about is chasing the truth. I'm in BC. I doubt that. So the other thing I want to talk about is Robin. Robin 2.0. I've left a few comments on different places. So she knew I was online today. So she's been going at it hard to get my attention. And she's got it. And like I said, that last video she created is just another one of her copycat-based bullshit. Same as she did the Hootenanny one that she claimed that I did. Well, here's the thing. Audrey, your husband, or ex-husband of a year, puts out daily, about 9-10 posts a day. And all of those posts are him wanting to unalive somebody, wanting to torture somebody, a racist. He has a real problem with women. Talks about him having sex all the time with animals. Seems to think he can, a Democrat or Republican, you know, all Democrats deserve to be unalived, which is just unbelievable. In other words, he's a very disturbed and violent man. So, you claim that you divorced him a year ago. But see, I go back to 20 years. Well, when you said 20, you were with him for 20 years. And how much integrity he had. And I go back to when you told Michael Morgan one night that you were going to send your boys down to Virginia because your boys were going to grow up to be good men someday. And that you're so worried about pedo threes and your grandchildren. Yet that violent piece of shit you were married to for 20 years is still all over your granddaughter's Facebook page. Still in contact with her. Now, I don't know about you, but if somebody was violent towards me, I sure as fuck wouldn't let him around my grandchildren. And not only that, you said he punched the TVs, you had to hide in closets, you know, you couldn't disturb the men in your house because you could wake them up, and sounds like you had a hell of a time. And I'm sorry for that. I'm really sorry for that. When I first ran into you, you were Dar's right-hand hemorrhoid. And you said to me, do you want to play a game? And I was like, okay. I didn't realize I was playing a game with an abused woman. I just thought you were typical Michigan trailer trash. I didn't realize that you were an abused woman. And then as time went on, and you came out the one night and told everybody that your father was an alcoholic, and that it was later exposed that he abandoned your mother and you. And then went on to have this absolutely wonderful family. I mean, these are all very hurtful things. I don't hate you, Audrey. I feel sorry for you. And I feel sorry for you that you're at 60 years old. You sat on YouTube today trying to trigger a woman who doesn't give a damn. You know, you always say you know who you are. Well, I know who I am too. I was somebody who was raised by a father that knew how to set a good example. Didn't cheat on my mother. Didn't abandon my mother. Wasn't a drunk. So by the time I got to looking for a guy on my own, a man who cheated on me when I was pregnant, like you had done to you, I wouldn't have come near that person again. Or a guy that was as violent as your last husband. All it would have taken was one disrespecting me, like calling me a fucking bitch or something like that, and he would have been gone. I wouldn't have sat around for 20 years. And I sure as fuck wouldn't have let my sons be raised by him and my grandchildren still be in contact with him. And all of that comes from trauma. It comes from you being an abused wife for many years and trauma bonding. How it changes, it hardwires your brain into it. So when you get away from somebody that's abusive and you start your life over and you think, oh, this is great, I'm doing better and I'm away from the piece of shit, you still got to work on undoing that bullshit that got put in your head. It explains why you're so obsessive. It explains why you trigger so easy and why you're so thin-skinned. And I really wished I would have known that 3 or 4 years ago, because I would have just ignored you back then and kept ignoring you. I really think you need to get help, Audrey. The way you know how you like to keep files, you like to compartmentalize. You know why you compartmentalize everything? Because that's how you survived abuse. That's how you survive an abusive life. That's what your brain does to survive it. You know why you can't? You're like a dog with a bone that you can't let go of something. That's all the side effects of trauma. And why you have to involve other channels, and why the people that you involve yourself with have all had trauma in their life. It's trauma bonding. And I feel sorry for you, because I can't even imagine spending, a year with an abusive person abusing me, let alone 20. I'm not being rude or I'm not being mean. You need to look into it. Because you're a pretty hateful person. and you like to focus on, if you love to make fun of other people because that makes you feel good, because that's what was done to you. It's important to you that people think you're better than what you are. Or smarter than what you are. It's a big deal to you. More so than most people. There is so much about you that is just absolute textbook abused. And you've been abused for a long time and a lot of years. That you've just accepted it. Like things like you say, people are just people. No, they're not. That's how you justify what's happened to you. People are very different. We all have very different nuances. You always boistering and threatening people. You going way out of your way and spending hours on the internet just to trash people. You need help, Audrey. Now, I don't know. You probably won't get it because you're too old. But if you did, you'd feel a lot better about yourself. Now, I want to say hi to Rhonda and John, and I've been thinking about you guys. And I'm really sorry to hear that things didn't go the way you were hoping. And I want to say hi to Matt. I want to say hi to Mike and Kathy. But seriously, this old troll game that you guys play, been there, done it. It's boring as fuck to me. So like I could have sat down today and did an IA video, Robin, to combat yours. You know I have those skills. But I can't be bothered. I came on here for one reason and one reason only. And that's just to say, instead of being so trusting and looking at things and taking them at face value on YouTube, sit back and take a second and a third and a closer look at what's going on, because there are a lot of seriously fucked up people that live their life through YouTube. I also caught today drunk nurse bullshit last night. And that Zach, somebody messaged me today and said, gotta go into this video, check out where the Zachary person started talking. And I'm going to give my opinion on that. When I first came across Gumdrop Mama could not type unless she had a special apparatus she held in her mouth, which created a lot of spelling and grammar errors. And then it changed. Wasn't long after that, like a year after that, it all changed. All of a sudden the grammar got better and the spelling got better and she could type a lot faster. And I knew at one point, it's like Audrey said, you can't know for sure unless you keep records on people's stuff. But it changed. And I knew at that point that it probably wasn't Gumdrop Mama. And what Darlene did on there last night showed Darlene's true colors. What a despicable human being she is. Like I said, YouTube's full of them. And it's not worth dealing with them. Because they're not going to stop, because it's the way they work out their own demons. Or they've been so damaged throughout life, they can't stop. Everybody on YouTube has trolls. Everybody does. And the bigger you get, the more you get them. They're not worth worrying about. Anyway, I'm out of here. Y'all have a good night. Trolls. You two have a good night. Bye now.